Good Tuesday evening and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Before we get to today's top news stories, let's take a quick look outside our weather window. And it was just one of those kind of days today, wasn't it? Low-hanging clouds and just not very warm. In fact, it felt cold at times out there today. Also some light sprinkle activity around the area and some misty rain. This looking back down at the Wenatchee area from our Omi Gardens Sky-Fi Tower camera. And you can see those low-hanging clouds that we did have this afternoon. Still seeing them tonight, and we can still see some showers tonight as well. But let's go ahead a couple of days and take a look at our Thanksgiving Day weather. And here in central and eastern Washington, it's going to be pretty darn nice. Partly cloudy skies for the Wenatchee area. I think temperatures will even be a little bit above that upper 30s and mid 40s. We might even be mid to upper 40s in some areas of north central Washington. So after we get through today and tonight, things will dry out. And we'll talk more about that coming up a little bit later on in your weather forecast. And now a few of the stories we're following for you tonight. A 13-year-old boy was arrested for allegedly pulling a knife and threatening an 11-year-old boy Sunday afternoon at Eastmont Community Park in East Wenatchee. In the Wenatchee Valley, the Chelan-Douglas Health District reported 179 new cases of COVID-19 over the weekend. The number of people hospitalized with COVID-19 at Central Washington Hospital has almost doubled in the past week. And a pickup pulling a trailer lost a load of fence post type wood, some of which then struck a car Monday afternoon on Highway 28 at Trinidad Hill. But first, we begin tonight. A suspect surrendered after police deployed gas at a Quincy home this morning following a standoff with police. Quincy police say the standoff followed a high-speed chase about 4 a.m. in which police tried to pull over 28-year-old Jose A. Valela, who was wanted on domestic violence and stalking charges. Valela reportedly led pursuers to the home in the 500 block of L Street and then barricaded himself inside. Believing he was armed, police called in the tactical response team. After getting two family members out of the house, police deployed a CS gas and Valela surrendered shortly after 9 a.m. The tactical response team is comprised of personnel from the Grant County Sheriff's Office, the Moses Lake Police Department, and the Adams County Sheriff's Office. Valela was booked into jail on numerous charges relating to the domestic violence warrant, the police pursuit, and a DUI warrant. Meanwhile, a 13-year-old boy was arrested for allegedly pulling a knife and threatening an 11-year-old boy Sunday afternoon at Eastmont Community Park in East Wenatchee. East Wenatchee police say the incident started when the 13-year-old was sitting on the park's pump track, blocking the path of the kids using the track. After being asked to move, there was an argument between the 13-year-old and the 11-year-old, during which the older boy pulled a knife, held it out toward the victim, and walked toward him. Police say witness accounts of the incident were confirmed by video taken in the park, and the 13-year-old was arrested for second-degree assault and taken to Chelan County Juvenile Detention. Well, in the Wenatchee Valley, the Chelan-Douglas Health District reported 179 new cases of COVID-19 over the weekend. The rate of new infections in the two counties is the highest it's been at any point during the 9-month pandemic. 836 cases now per 100,000 people. Health officials remain very concerned that Thanksgiving get-togethers will spread the infection. They recommend no gatherings with people from outside your home, mask wearing in public, and maintaining 6 feet of social distance. The district is conducting free drive-through COVID testing Friday through Monday at Wenatchee High School. Over the weekend, health workers at that same site tested 1,557 people for the virus. Well, the number of those hospitalized with COVID-19 at Central Washington Hospital has also almost doubled in the past week. Confluence Health reported Monday they are currently treating 19 coronavirus patients at the Wenatchee Hospital. A week ago, Confluence reported 10 people hospitalized, 6 from Chelan and Douglas counties. This week, there are 12 Chelan-Douglas residents in the hospital with the virus. 3 of the current 19 people hospitalized are in the intensive care unit, 2 on ventilators. A pickup pulling a trailer lost a load of fence post type wood, some of which then struck a car Monday afternoon on Highway 28 at Trinidad Hill. The occupant of the Toyota Camry and a passenger suffered minor injuries, that according to the Washington State Patrol. Traffic on Highway 28 was slowed just after noon in the area west of Quincy, but the highway didn't need to be closed. 64-year-old Pedro Mendoza of Ephrata was cited for failure to secure a load. Well, coming up next, the town of Soap Lake had to close its city hall yesterday after a potential exposure to COVID-19 among its staff there. A coalition of 4 Wenatchee Hispanic groups has raised more than $16,000 to support ag workers affected by the Pearl Hill and Cold Springs wildfires. Molina Healthcare of Washington distributed $1,000 apiece this month to 2 North Central Washington food banks. And the Forest Service has finalized a sustainable recreation strategy for the NCWLIFE Ranger District. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
Here's to 5 billion miles of amazing. 5 billion miles of...
This is so cool.
5 billion miles of helping you stay safe. 5 billion miles of passing the pump. 5 billion miles of... That's 5 billion miles driven around the world. The all-electric 2020 Nissan Leaf.
The extended range 2020 Leaf is now available at Town Nissan, right behind Costco in East Wenatchee.
Bring the whole family up to Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house in historic downtown Chelan. Applewood smoked brisket, street-style tacos, and our award-winning barbecue rubs and sauces. Our meals pair perfectly with our exciting lineup of craft ales, made right here in Chelan. We've got room for big groups, or give us a call for catering. So grab the kids and check out the fun at Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house located in the heart of Chelan.
Traditional values and innovation in honoring the life of each family we serve is part of the ministry of Heritage Memorial Chapel. Our staff is committed to walk with your family with compassion through this time of grief. We are here to help and here to serve, the right kind of help when you need it most. Heritage Memorial Chapel.
Welcome back. In another news, the town of Soap Lake had to close its city hall yesterday after a potential exposure to COVID-19 among its staff there. The building on 2nd Street shut down Monday in Grant County's ongoing coronavirus explosion, with 225 new cases reported just yesterday and 32 total deaths from the virus. Mayor Alex Kovach says no reopening date has been set. Meanwhile, residents are asked to pay their utility bills online. A coalition of 4 Wenatchee Hispanic groups has raised more than $16,000 to support agricultural workers affected by the Pearl Hill and Cold Springs wildfires. The summer fires burned more than 230,000 acres in Okanagan and Douglas counties and drove many farm workers out of their group housing. The donations went toward masks, food, clothing, blankets, transportation, hygiene products, and cash. In addition, one man who lost his passport during the evacuation was able to apply for and receive a replacement. The 4 nonprofits are the Immigrant and Latinx Solidarity Group, Parque Padrinos, Wenatchee for Immigrant Justice, and CAFE. Well, Molina Healthcare of Washington distributed $1,000 apiece this month to 2 North Central Washington food banks. The Community Cupboard of Leavenworth and the Cove Food Bank of Twisp each received a share of donations from the health provider. It's part of Molina's program to distribute $16 million in Washington communities to help them navigate the pandemic. More than 25 nonprofits in the NCW region have received donations over the last 6 months. The Forest Service has finalized a sustainable recreation strategy for the NCWLIFE Ranger District. That district is 272,000 acres and includes part of the Glacier Peak Wilderness. It's been challenged by major wildfire damage in the last 5 years. The strategic plan calls for short-term actions like replacing signs and updating trail maintenance, and spells out long-term goals like stewardship agreements, decommissioning old trails. You can review the full plan by visiting the website for the Okanagan-Wenatchee National Forest. You're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News. Coming up next, tonight's feature story and your complete local weather forecast. That and much more still to come on the NCWLIFE Evening News. Please stay with us.
Family roles change with time. You may find yourself being an unpaid caregiver to a loved one. Caregiving can be rewarding, but also stressful. Taking care of yourself is vital. Aging and Adult Care of Central Washington has low or no cost services for unpaid caregivers, such as in-home support, care supplies, and counseling. Connect in your local area by calling Aging and Adult Care at 800-572-4459 and mention you're interested in caregiver support.
So Pam, how's your mom doing?
She's okay. She's struggling. She'd like to stay in her house, and it's getting harder for her to do the daily chores.
What kinds of problems is she having?
Just basic house cleaning, you know, taking care of her house, yard work, taking care of her medicine.
Mm-hmm. It does sound exhausting.
It is very exhausting, and I always worry about her.
Aging and Adult Care can assist you or your loved one to remain comfortably and safely in their own home. Contact them today to start the conversation.
Hi, Stephen DeVilbus here, Branch Manager of Beneficial and Home Care. We are an equal opportunity employer and we do not discriminate in employment or services. It is our mission to maximize our clients' physical health and sense of mental well-being while remaining in the comfort of their home. We are currently seeking professional caregivers who share our mission to help our clients live safely and comfortably at home. Call Beneficial and Home Care. Schedule your interview today. 509-663-7900.
Welcome back to the NCWLIFE Evening News. People from both the state and the community worked together recently on a project to protect Cascade High School and all of Leavenworth from wildfires. Those efforts were highlighted in a video by the State Department of Natural Resources. In tonight's feature story, DNR's Allison Morrow talks about how it came about.
When it comes to wildfire vulnerability in Washington, the town of Leavenworth is one at the top of the list.
We're in a location that has not burned yet, but it's burned all the way around us, so we're actually primed to burn.
So Leavenworth's high school recently reached out to the town's fire department to reduce the school's risk of wildfire. The fire department combined forces with DNR to make it happen.
We're doing a 100-foot buffer along the edge of the school. We selected this fuel break here because there's a lot of people that interact with this area.
So this is a great example of what the forest looked like before we came in here and started our fuels mitigation. There's a lot of this really small diameter trees really crowded in here. They're all going to go.
The Leavenworth Fire District used a grant they received, the Ready, Set, Go grant, to fund part of the work. As a recipient of the Ready, Set, Go grant, fire departments must do a community demonstration, and that shows the community what a resilient and healthy forest looks like.
So the purpose of the Ready, Set, Go grant program is to provide guidelines for our community members on what to do to prepare for a wildfire. Instead of doing a demonstration day where we bring a lot of the public in, we'll do a virtual demonstration day where you'll be able to click on a QR code and it'll pull up pictures of before, during, and after the fuels reduction work that was done here.
The other half of the work was paid for by the Department of Natural Resources through the Cost Share program.
What probably couldn't have happened without these grants, and what would have been a very large fire risk to the community and to the high school has now been taken care of.
This project not only keeps the schools and communities safe, but also provides the town with an example of a healthy forest, and they hope other landowners will join in order to keep Leavenworth safer from wildfire.
We can reduce those forest fuels, and we can also help that financial burden that comes with owning forest land.
If you're interested in DNR's cost share program, visit dnr.wa.gov/cost-share.
All right, let's take a look now at your North Central Washington weather forecast. And it was a frigid one today. Not frigid, but it felt plenty cold out there. We saw lots of low-hanging clouds over the Wenatchee Valley today, and that really kept our temperature down. Also some sprinkles and some light misty rain. But as I mentioned, it felt cold out there today. High temperature today didn't even make it to where we should be for this time of year. 39's normal, unofficially 37 today at Pangbourne Airport. 34 is where we started. So boys, you can see we only warmed up 3 degrees through the entire afternoon. 29's our normal low temperature. How about that record high? All the way back to 1959, a beautiful one at 64 degrees. Not so much though for our record low temperature in 1985, where it was 5 below zero. Sitting right now at 5.09 inches of precip for the year. Sunrise this morning 7:19, and the sun set this afternoon at 4:16. Let's take a look at how your hump day Wednesday will shape up. And really the big news for tomorrow, other than maybe a little bit warmer temperatures, it's going to be a dry day tomorrow. 44 for Moses Lake and Ephrata, 43 Quincy and Ellensburg. Wenatchee, we will also see 43 for a high temperature tomorrow, 41 in Leavenworth, and 41 as well tomorrow in Chelan, mainly under partly cloudy skies, so it should be a pretty decent Wednesday. As we take a look at what's happening tonight, we will still see some rain showers possibly before 10 o'clock. You can see most of the state pretty much inundated with some sort of precipitation, snow back in the Cascades, and then our skies after midnight will turn just mainly mostly cloudy. As we get into Wednesday, we just talked about it, partly cloudy skies. It will be dry. Seasonal temps actually a little bit above seasonal, considering our normal high now is 39 degrees, and it's all because of this area of high pressure. It's bringing all of that warmer air back into the Pacific Northwest, and that means a beautiful Thanksgiving here with partly cloudy skies, light wind, come on map, and warmer as we move into our Thanksgiving Thursday. We're talking high temperatures Thursday, all of us at least into the mid-40s and maybe a touch higher. By Friday, we're going to stay on the dry side, partly cloudy skies. Temperatures will remain normal. Here's our area of high pressure parked right over pretty much the Salt Lake in Utah. For Friday, partly cloudy skies and normal temperatures with highs once again mainly lower to mid-40s. For Saturday, mostly sunny skies and a nice way to kick off our weekend. We could be 5 to 6 degrees above normal for Saturday for high temperatures. You can see a yellow tint to our temperatures, and that means 50 for the folks down in Tri-Cities. For Sunday then, increasing clouds. We could see a 20% chance of mainly late evening showers. It's mainly along this cold front right here, which will continue to slide into Washington State. Not a very favorable flow for us to receive a lot of precipitation, but it is favorable on Monday for us to pick up some wind, and expect wind Monday 15 to 25 miles an hour. We're going to stick with about a 20% chance of rain also for Monday, with temperatures staying right about the lower 40s. Let's take a look now at your 7-day forecast, and beginning with tonight, we'll drop down to about 32 degrees. Remember, showers ending later on tonight. Partly cloudy and dry for Wednesday and 43. 45 on our Thanksgiving Thursday. Partly cloudy, 44 for Friday, 46 on Saturday, and then we cool off just a touch for Sunday and Monday with a slight chance of rain, with highs then in the lower 40s. And that's a look at your local weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Eric Granstrom and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
My name is Anaisa Lemus, and I teach at John Newberry Elementary. I had a tooth in the front that was just always causing me problems. It was just happening so regularly. I went to go get a root canal done, and the root canal didn't help a whole lot because when it came back, both of my parents went to Dr. Davis's office. They really recommended him because he had done such a great job on their teeth. I went and really have had a really pleasant experience with him. He just just made me feel really at ease with everything. He was really confident with what he was doing. He said, this is one of his favorite parts of his job, which really made it easier for me because, when you're really passionate about something, they're going to do a good job. As a teacher, my students, I'll tell them randomly sometimes, oh yeah, with my fake tooth. They're always so shocked. Like, what? It looks like your real tooth. And I'm really happy with the results now.
This is Dr. John Divis. Please call us today.
Hi, I'm Kevin Prosser, and this is my print shop, Color Effects in Cashmere. Color Effects offers screen printing, embroidery, and digital printing on t-shirts, jerseys, bags, banners, signs, and more. With 30 years experience, you won't be disappointed with the quality and quick turnaround times you will get at more than a fair price. Please call Color FX.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Kerry Condada. This is the 12th District TV show, aired 8 times every week on NCWLIFE TV. We cover business and politics like no one else does it because I've been there and done it. 30 years self-employed, 16 years in the House of Representatives, and 12 years running campaigns across the state of Washington. That resume means you're getting information you can't get anywhere else. This is the 12th District. I'm Kerry Condada.
At Harvest Valley Pest Control, we know you are committed to making your home and business a healthy and pest-free place. Hi, I'm David. Give us a call and we'll give you a firm price over the phone and schedule a time that works for you. We will do an in-depth 30-point healthy home or business inspection and craft a customized plan of action designed specifically for your pest issue. Give us a call or visit our website today.
And now it's a sports update on the NCWLIFE channel.
Hello, sports fans. I'm Dan Kuntz. We start out with a very sad note for local sports fans. There will be no Wenatchee Wild hockey season this year. In a press release that came down to us not very long ago from the Wenatchee Wild, and I'm quoting now, with the latest restrictions on gyms and ice arenas in the state of Washington, it has made it impossible for the Wenatchee Wild to continue with the 2020-2021 season. Take a note of the highlighted passage there. We are not opting out of the season. We are being forced out because the United States and Canadian border are closed and the restrictions on gyms and ice arenas in the state of Washington. End quote from the press release. David White, the owner of the Wenatchee Wild, announcing that all Wenatchee Wild employees will retain their jobs. He calls this a temporary setback, but again, there will be no Wenatchee Wild hockey for the upcoming 2021 campaign. Sad news indeed. We'll have more on this as the week progresses. On another note entirely, when the Seattle Seahawks acquired Carlos Dunlap from the Bengals a couple of weeks ago, they did so to shore up the defensive line rushing. The Seattle Seahawks were dead last in pressuring the quarterback in the NFL. Well, after learning the system, Dunlap's skills were on full display on Thursday night in that big victory over the Arizona Cardinals. In fact, quarterback Russell Wilson said he's happy that Dunlap is hitting the opposing quarterbacks and not him.
Carlos Dunlap spent his entire 11 years with the Cincinnati Bengals. Now he's been with you guys for just a few weeks, and he says he's here to write a new chapter. So far, what has he been writing, and what do you expect the story to play out like after watching him tonight?
Well, first of all, I think you got to give credit to John Schneider and Pete to get a guy like Carlos Dunlap. He's such a superstar. He's a guy who can really help us. You know, you need those kind of players, especially in our division, the kind of guys. And him coming off the edge is a huge factor. I know he sacked me a few times and hit me pretty hard a few times in the past. But, you know, just to have a great guy, a great teammate. He's been awesome in the locker room. He's obviously been tremendous on the field. You know, he's such a huge factor to the game, and he causes havoc. And to obviously 4th and 10, for him to make a huge sack, in that situation was an unbelievable play. It won the game for us right there in that moment. And just to have, he's a winner by nature. Maybe he hasn't won in the past as much, but he's a true winner by nature. And just we love it about him. He's a great team player. He's got everything that you want, obviously the ability, but also the character and the focus and the just how much he loves the game. He's smiling from ear to ear, and hopefully we can keep the winning going.
Seattle outgained the Cardinals rushing-wise, 165 yards rushing for the Seahawks, just 57 for the Cardinals. Carlos Hyde doing yeoman's work. He was very good on Thursday night. He rushed the ball 14 times, 79 yards, scored a touchdown. Russell Wilson says Hyde's running style is a perfect fit for the Seahawks offense.
Russell, how much better does Carlos Hyde's running style, just who he is, the way he attacks holes, how much better does he make your offense?
Well, Carlos is a great runner. I mean, he had a tremendous job today. We knew we wanted to be physical with these guys, you know, and when we did run it, and he was physical as could be. I mean, he had so many great runs, so many great plays. He was special today, you know, and he's been great for us, you know, when he's been in there. And so, you know, I love the type of runner he is, the type of person he is too. And you know, he's a guy who's rushed for over 1,000 yards, done some amazing things in this league. You know, a great vet that's really helped us out, and he was terrific today. And then guys like DJ Dallas have been great for us too. You know, he made a couple key plays for us today, some third downs and different things. And so, just really excited about how the running backs played today. They did some great things in the passing game and obviously the running game.
Seahawks made a big roster move yesterday. Tight end Greg Olsen has now been placed on the IR, replaced by that guy. Yeah, he's back. Damon Snacks Harrison activated off the practice squad. As far as Olsen's concerned, he suffered some sort of foot injury on the victory on Thursday night. Olsen signing a one-year deal back in February. It's worth up to $7 million. He's 35 years old. His career, in fact, may be over. Remember, the Seahawks still have 3 other tight ends on the roster: Will Dissly, Jacob Hollister, and Colby Parkinson, the rookie. The Seahawks also announced on Monday that there will be no fans at the field on December 6th against the Giants and December 13th against the Jets. Of course, because of the COVID-19 pandemic, Seahawks continue to prepare for their next game. That's Monday night in Philadelphia. By the way, in case you missed it, the Rams knocked off the Tampa Bay Buccaneers last night. The Rams are now technically in first place in the NFC West. But remember, the Seahawks and the Rams still have to play each other in late December, so we're not done with that yet. And if you're just joining us, there will be no Wenatchee Wild hockey season this year because of COVID-19 restrictions. And that is sports. Grant, back to you.
Thank you very much, Dan. And finally tonight, Wenatchee's newest grocery store is expected to open February 1st. A Winco corporate representative said on Monday that construction work on the former Shopco building on North Wenatchee Avenue is on track to be completed in December, meaning the company can then begin equipping the store. The Boise, Idaho-based company is currently in the process of hiring employees for the store, with application materials available at careers.wincofoods.com. Winco is an employee-owned warehouse-type grocery store. The Wenatchee store is 89,500 square feet. The company has spent about $6 million converting the former Shopco building. Now, once again, let's check in with Dan Kuntz for a look at what's coming up tomorrow morning on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Dan?
Thank you very much, Grant. It's good to have you back, my friend. I'm so happy I don't have to do the weather anymore. I'm not very good at it. Tomorrow, Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, my guest will be Lisa Bradshaw, the host of Life with Lisa, the founder of the Don't Wait Project, and, as it turns out, a pretty fair songwriter. We'll talk about that. We'll catch up with our good friend Lisa on tomorrow's edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Plus, we'll get you ready for the big Thanksgiving weekend with everything that you need to know, weather-wise, news, sports. We're going to have a good show for you tomorrow on Wednesday's edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, live and local at 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. Grant, back to you.
Thank you very much, Dan. And that's going to do it for our newscast tonight. For more on these stories and other news from around North Central Washington, you can find us on Facebook or our website at ncwlife.com. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. You can send us an email at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call at 888-6295. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks for joining us. Have a great night.
In the heart of the Wenatchee Valley lies a unique Ford and Lincoln dealership. This is Pat Armstrong Ford Lincoln, home of the lifetime warranty. Pat Armstrong Ford's mission is to exceed your expectations by taking pride in making your car buying experience as comfortable and timely as possible. This mission is consistent in every department, including parts, service, and sales. We are community strong and community safe in East Wenatchee.
I had to pack up all my things. I had to leave my home. And I
never knew where I was going next. It felt like I never even had a say. But then you came along.
Change a child's story. There's a child in foster care waiting for a volunteer like you.
Hey everyone, Fletcher and Amy Ellingson here from Live It Up. Join us every week as we answer your questions on health, wealth, and relationships.
We're all about you creating a life that you love, so tune in to Live It Up.